So let's have a look at the images from March to the Moon. These are supposed to be scanned from the original magazines, and these images are not in sequence. They are recorded as being sequential, but as you can see by looking at the photographs, the images have been reversed. In the one image, we'll start with magazine 82 from Apollo 15, and you can see that the photo number is clearly printed on the image. And when you look closer down at the large rock at the forefront, you'll see that the soil is disturbed. There's clearly a footprint, and the smaller rocks have been moved around. In the very next image, when you look, which is magazine 82, 11141, and it's showing clearly that it appears to be scanned right from the original magazine. And when you look down at the rock, there is no footprint, and the smaller rocks have not as yet been disturbed. So there's no possible way that these images that have been produced by March to the Moon are accurate in any way, shape, or form. They have been altered, and this is one example of that being done. If they were actually on the magazine, the image would be there undisturbed, and then the footprint would appear after. And this is not the case in this photograph. Next, we'll take a look at Apollo 12, magazine 48, and we'll start with image 7130. And we're going to be looking specifically at the mirror at the top of the camera on this mock-up device. And you'll see in this mirror that the dust is collected on the mirror, and it has clearly clouded it over, and it's on the mirror so heavily it doesn't look like you could shoot anything through that mirror to take a photograph. That's number one. And then the very next photograph, 7131, the astronaut has made a finger mark on it. He just swiped it with his finger, and this is also instructed in the cue cards that he's wearing on his wrist. The instructions on the cue card tell him to take a photograph, swipe it, and then take another photograph. The important thing we're looking at here is the length of that finger mark that he put on the mirror, swiping the dirt off of the mirror. Then again in photo number 7132, the long finger mark is still present. In 33, the long finger mark is still present. And then in 34, it's still present. And 35, there's just a very short fingerprint, and there's actually a slightly smaller secondary one beside it. If he's swiping dirt off of the mirror, the finger mark can't get shorter. So that, again, the photos are out of sequence. And again, March to the Moon is showing that these photographs have been taken in sequential order from the actual magazine itself. That is their claim. That can't be a fact. Now, when we're looking at the cue cards, this little instruction booklet is attached to the wrist and usually worn on their left hand. Some of them you see they might even have two cue cards, one on the left and the right. These instructions were prepared months before and written up for the astronauts to not only practice with and use. Why on earth would they be following these exact instructions, and how would they know that there's dust on the mirror, the panoramic mirror on that camera, before they got to the site? And there are the instructions clearly on the cue cards for them to wipe that with their finger, photograph it, wipe it, and photograph it. And that's not the only part of that thing they're designed to do. Every piece of that machine is instructed to wipe, to photograph, wipe, and photograph all over that machine, to show you that the only place on that entire surveyor that it has any dust on it at all is on the mirror. And the mirror is facing down. Other parts that are facing up are absolutely shiny clean. There's no dust on any other part of that equipment. Clearly shows fakery. The astronauts are exposing the fakery.